Muscatine. I hope you're enjoying the, well, drizzle. I don't know what you guys are getting all over town, but here downtown we are getting, it like poured for like 30 seconds and now it's just gross. So hopefully it gets a little bit better, but it looks like, Chris, I think we got a big storm coming. So batten down the hatches, get ready. It's Iowa in the summer. So I want to give a quick shout out to the Muskie girls softball team who won last night down at Kent Stein. Chris, do you have some of the pictures ready for that? We'll go ahead and throw those up on the screen. This was just a quick glimpse at what I was able to get last night. They played the new Iowa City School, Liberty. They scored 1 run in the first, 1 run in the second, finished 2-0. Mark Lupa threw a great game. All the girls played extremely well, extremely smart softball. And so they will be, with the win, they'll go to state. Sounds like they're probably going to leave Sunday for the tournament that starts Monday. I'll be honest, I don't know the pairings and rankings yet. We'll probably take a look at that and get those out. I think those come out later today or tomorrow. I'll find out. So definitely make sure that if you know a Muskie girl, know a Muskie parent, tell them congratulations. I don't know the details on the going away send-off event. I think it'll probably be Sunday. We'll keep you posted on that. We'll probably be there broadcasting it so we can all send the girls off in style. Chris, do we make it through the... Okay. So hope you enjoy these, and we'll have more out on discovermuscatine.com today. Got a lot of cool video coverage, so maybe we'll make a hype video for them before they leave on Sunday. We'll see if we can help pump them up a little bit. But really proud of the girls. They've had a great season, and just like always, not only are they great softball players, they're great humans. Right after the game, there was probably 7 or 8 young Muskie girl softball players. I'm gonna guess in that 7 to 10 range. They all gathered back up after they started celebrating. They all gathered back up so that those girls could get their pictures with them. So one of the great long-standing traditions in Muscatine is excellence in that softball program. So Coach Hopkins, girls, congratulations. Enjoy it for a day or two. But I know you guys know your season isn't done and you have not yet accomplished everything that was on your list at the beginning of the year. So stay focused, do your thing, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you between here and there. So with that, we've got 2 great guests today. Well, there's more guests, 2 groups, I guess. But you're not a group, so I'm confused. 1 group, 1 individual. We'll just sort of see how it goes. Up first is Jamie Leza from the Community Foundation. And if you could, real quick, Jamie, for those that don't know you, introduce yourself and kind of give them a little bit of what you do at the Community Foundation before we dive into the new clinic info.
Yeah, well, first, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And congratulations, Muskie Softball girls. We're so proud and excited for you. Yes, I'm Jamie Leza. I have the privilege of working at the Community Foundation of Greater Muscatine. I've been there for 4 years now. My current role is the Vice President of Operations.
It seems like you've been there longer than that.
It does, because we get a lot done.
You do, that's for sure. That's for sure.
We all say it feels like it's double the amount of time we've actually been there. So we, our mission is we actively work to improve the quality of life in Muscatine County. So we serve all of Muscatine County. Mm-hmm. And really excited to be here with you today to talk about our clinic project.
So the clinic project has been a long time coming, and it's a very unique project from an industry standpoint. From a, it's a, on one hand, it's a $20 million 3-floor clinic space, right? It looks great. It kind of goes. Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it kind of goes like if you're walking into the ED, kind of like left and up. Is that?
So the location of the new facility will be kind of adjacent to the current clinic that's attached. So, when you've got that roundabout to the main entrance, it'll be right there in that front portion of the parking lot.
Not the ED.
But it is left of the emergency department,
Yeah, like sort of around and Sometimes I get a little geo-challenged. So we'll get to some of that later, but could you kind of like walk us through a little bit of the background on how we got here?
Yeah.
Because it's really interesting, both from a structure standpoint, but a community needs standpoint, and how it all sort of came together with what I'm going to say is a bunch of creatively smart people in a room together.
Yeah, I love to start with the history because it's really such an innovative model that our predecessors developed, and I found that it's really unique to our community. So almost 50 years ago now, business and industry and community leaders recognized the need for local health care. And they came together, they raised the funds, they built the existing clinic that's attached to the hospital now, and they leased the clinic to the providers. And then in '84, they added a really interesting component, and they established a nonprofit, the Muscatine Health Support Foundation. And at that time, the nonprofit started taking those rental dollars and granting it back into the community towards local healthcare initiatives. So projects, programs, equipment that further developed our local healthcare system. And to date, that granting model, over $7 million, has gone back into our local healthcare system. In 2017, that Muscatine Health Support Foundation dissolved, and they transitioned, gifted all their assets to the Community Foundation, which is how they entrusted us with the legacy, with the responsibility to carry their legacy forward, and that's how we became the owner of the clinic building and landlords, and we started managing that granting model. And so when I started in 2019, that's actually conversations had already been started about the existing facility, and lots changed in healthcare in 50 years, and it needed some work, and ultimately it was decided that a new facility would best meet the long-term goals, which remain the same as they did 50 years ago. We want to recruit and retain healthcare providers to our rural community, and we want to ensure that all the residents have access to quality local primary healthcare. The 2021 Muscatine County Community Health Needs Assessment identified and prioritized access to health care in our community.
And that's the one thing in my experience. Obviously I'm not in the healthcare industry, but we used it a lot for about 14 years, and we were on some advisory councils and things like that. And that is the one thing that is always probably one of the top 2 or 3 things is access, right? Having it available and having it affordable, having it so that people aren't afraid to make that phone call to be like, hey, I need some help, right? I need something in my healthcare, because we all know that it's way more cost effective to do preventative care, you know what I mean? And I almost kind of view this as like a business function of that preventative care model, like by the community investing in these assets, these hard assets, it allows you to make it stable, accessible for everybody for the long term.
Yeah, I mean, we really view it as a foundational component of a county ecosystem, and I think the support that we've gotten from individuals and business and industry alike really shows that everybody feels the same way. And some people don't have the means to travel for healthcare, especially preventive healthcare. Whether it's flexibility in their work schedule or barriers for transportation, and so we want to ensure that they have access here locally.
Right, which is absolutely huge. Which is one thing I think sometimes gets lost in this conversation for a lot of the general community is, we're really lucky to have what we have in a community this size for healthcare, right? Like a lot of communities this size don't necessarily have their own hospital, especially if they're 30 miles away from, major metros, right? Like we are. So it's something that has been like you've said, a long-standing community value, and everybody, to be blunt, puts their money where their mouth is, right? And make sure that it happens. So as we look at the clinic, what are some of like the big overarching goals for the new clinic?
first, modern facilities.
Right.
We've actually, the new clinic is 12,000 square foot, was designed 12,000 square foot larger than the existing. The current clinic's 30,000, this will be 42,000 square feet. Of course, the purpose for that was to ensure that we would have the space for growth of providers and specialties. What those specialties will be remains to be seen, but I do know that they've had luck in a couple of their recent provider recruitment because, based on the fact that they'd have this new facility to operate out of. Right. So that's a big one. I think also, I'm just really excited for the existing providers and team there. We just moved office locations as well, and it's always a really exciting thing when you have a space that is efficient and it helps with the morale, and you've got what you need to.
It's like, I would maybe compare it to like getting a new car versus getting a hand-me-down, 13, you know what I mean? Like, it's a new, fresh, clean space. You're the first ones to use it. You can get in and you can make it work the way it needs to be, and you can like really focus on what you need to do instead of your environment, because your environment's designed to do what you need to do.
Yeah, yeah. So the recruitment, the ability to grow the providers and the specialties to increase the access for our community.
Well, and the other thing is, this comes with a lot of economic impact, right?
Yeah.
It's not just, okay, healthcare is great. Like that's in and of itself a great reason to do this, right? But some of the other things is, on the recruitment side, obviously it makes it easier to get quality providers, but then that also generates revenue into this community, right? That doesn't go to neighboring communities, right? And then it also, as we take a even further step back and we look at like how Muscatine grows from here, right? If you're, say, an HNI, a GPC, Kent, Bridgeton, like all of these, when the school district even, when you're recruiting people to come work here,
right,
having local health care is great, especially if it's a new, fresh, big thing, right? Because people are concerned about that when they're looking for a place to live and a place to work, right? So it helps stabilize the, well, maybe not stabilize, but it helps the corporations and even small businesses provide for their employees, which keeps those dollars local as well.
Yeah, and I think, all of the business and industry, they've all stepped up. They've contributed to this project, and so that speaks to their commitment to not only their current employees and their health and well-being, but the benefits for their recruitment for talent as well.
Yeah, and so that's kind of is there anything else that you would want somebody to know about how we got here before we talk about like what you guys got to do?
Well, I think I really want to highlight the comment that you just made. Again, with this really innovative model and with that granting model, those dollars, our partner, our long-term partner, UnityPoint Health, is a regional system, and this ensures that the dollars are staying local. And so I think that's a really important piece of this that we're really proud of, and that's what we found is very unique. Yeah,
and so like I almost hate to even say it this way, but you hear people in town like, oh, UnityPoint isn't local, whatever, right? However, we're the most local of any regional kind of function because you do need those economies of scale. Like without the economies of scale that UnityPoint can provide, it doesn't work locally, right? But Muscatine has done such a great job of things like having local staff here, you know what I mean? Like, and they have a lot of decision making. You've got Dr. Saga out doing dementia stuff in the community because that's what we need, right? And so it's all local staff, but then also it's these things like owning the assets, right? Which is so wise, right? Like from a financial, let's call it financial planning function, right? So all those dollars don't necessarily go somewhere else, right? They're locally controlled. So they have
a local governing board. The Trinity Muscatine Foundation stepped up, and they're actually supporting the FF&E portion of the project for
furniture, fixtures, and equipment.
Yep. Sorry. Yeah.
No, I've just learned that after a show, I'll get like, well, what was that? I'm like, you know what?
No, I know. I'm learning all the construction lingo. I'll never need to know it again after this project.
That's all the cool stuff that you put inside the building once you build it, right?
Yeah.
So it's the chairs, it's the desks, it's the exam tables,
Yeah.
it's the
Yeah.
you know, the vases in the lobby. It's all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's the stuff that looks cool, right?
Yep.
So
And then also just the time, I'd like to highlight the timeline as well. We've got, we actually had our groundbreaking June 14th. It was
Yep.
a huge day. We had a great turnout.
which, Chris, you've got some pictures of that we can bring up while we talk.
So
You
they're
can see kind of who all was there. And
they're currently, site work has started. If all goes well, and weather permitting, fall of 2024 is when the new facility will be finished, and they'll be operating on the new facility. Then at that time, they'll demolish the existing clinic and repave that and turn it into parking. But that was another nice aspect of the adjacent location of the new facility, is they can still operate out of the current.
And here it comes. Sorry, the rain just totally.
And it feels
caught my
great in
attention.
here,
It does.
too.
It does. It's nice to be able to do that and not worry about. Anyway, sorry. Back to the importance of. Sorry, like I said, we go off the rails here a lot.
So
right?
they'll still be operating on the current facility, and then the new clinic will still have a connection from the clinic to the hospital, which we think is important for like access to lab and radiology, and for any emergent issues.
Right, and that's, we got to do, folks. I was lucky enough to be able to be a part of like a specialty clinic redesign up at the University of Iowa Children's Hospital.
Oh, really?
And so this process, you've got to understand how intense this is. I would imagine you've got a wide range of people with input, from stakeholders to physicians to patients, and you have things like, how long would it take to get somebody from here to the ED if there was an emergent issue on floor 3? What's the path? All this stuff is figured out before that ground breaks, right? All in the design process. It's how people turn around in rooms, right? Mm-hmm. Do you have enough room to turn around? If you have 2 or 3 people in the room, how do you get everybody to see a screen if they need it? It's not just putting up a cool looking building with fresh paint. These facilities are designed down to the 6 inches of what they need, right?
Yeah, and it was about 1.5 years of design and development for that as well.
And that's about what ours was up for. And it's an amazing process. It's extremely valuable, and it's how you know that what's going up is really what we need.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is
UnityPoint actually has recommended Envision Architecture out of Waterloo for our design partner, and they're experts in medical facilities, so they know all the regulations and codes and all those things that they need to account for. But when we shared the first rendering that we finally had, one of my boys said, "Wow, that looks so cool, like something that would be in a big city. Did you design that, Mom?"
Yeah.
No.
I watched them design. That was like what.
I sat in the meeting.
Yeah,
so does that count?
I was really happy. Like in the clinic, there was like 3 or 4 things that I said in the meetings that like made it into the clinic, and I was like, yes. But all of us were like that, and I know, obviously I wasn't a part of this one, but I know for everybody involved, there's those little wins that add up to the big win, because all those little wins are what it takes for everybody to do what they need to do, and for patients to have a great experience and to be able to get in and out quickly. What's the registration process going to look like? Where are they going to go? They walk in, what do they see? Where do they go? Where do they sit while they wait? And those are all conversations that have been had. I guarantee you they've been had, and probably ran 100 different ways to see how you could do it.
And we actually even went and toured other clinics, and
So
took the local team here to get their perspective and input. And it was.
We got to go to Seattle. It was fun.
Oh,
it was
wow.
Fun. Yeah, we got to go to Seattle Children's, and I don't remember where the other place was off the top of my head, but yeah. And so that process, I always try and help people connect it to things they know. So like if you were trying to do your own house, right? Imagine being able to just go in and mock it up and do it, and that's how in depth this process is. How long does it take me to carry the laundry from the the bedroom to the washer and back? How many steps is it? So it's really going to be an impressive building when it's done. I have no question. That's
yeah,
a
we're
lot.
very excited.
Yeah, holy cow. It's, so kind of the quick highlights for people to kind of, you know, 20 million bucks, 3 floors going up, connected to the hospital. Should be done in about a year and a half, give or take, rain, delays. A huge benefit for the community. The building is still owned by the community. It's all the income from it is directed back into the community by community people. And it's just going to be a huge asset in the healthcare industry for the next who knows how long.
Yeah, and I'd be remiss if I didn't call out all the support we've gotten from business and individuals.
Yep. 14
million has been raised for this project so far. We still have donations coming in to offset the cost of construction. We are partnering with CBI Bank and Trust, along with participating with Midwest One and Community Bank and Trust are going to have committed to financing for the remainder. So I just really want to express our appreciation for the generosity and support that we've received.
Yeah, and I've watched all these donations come in, and you know, it's all the folks in the community doing their part. You know, it's from donations to CBI and community, like making sure that the dollars are there to get the project done, because you know it's going to generate revenue and it's going to be able to pay it off, right? I mean, obviously you want to pay it off up front if you can, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's a tremendous community project.
Yeah.
And like in those pictures you saw, I didn't get to see all of them before they went up, but like there's hundreds of people involved, and you know what I mean? Like, this is not just somebody had an idea, let's put up a new building, right?
Yeah.
Which is what helps you know and be comfortable in the fact that it's community dollars well spent and well directed. So, and that's something you guys do, Charla, you, the rest of the team down there. There's no question where the intent lies, what the goals are, and that, you know, you're going to get there. You know what I mean? So you guys do a tremendous job helping in 1,000 different ways. So
yeah, it's an honor to work there. It's very rewarding work, and we're committed to, you know, collaborating and convening around priorities and providing a high quality of life in Muscatine for everyone.
Well, is there anything else you want anybody to know? Like anything we missed?
No, thank you so much.
Yeah,
it was a great conversation.
Absolutely, anytime at all. So we will be back with Lutheran Living, who just got a nice national award that you're going to want to hear about. We'll see you in just a couple minutes.
Looking for a fun-filled summer? Look no further than the Muscatine County Fair. Get ready for heart-pounding rides, mouth-watering food, and unforgettable memories. From Ferris wheels to tractor pulls and concerts, there's something for everyone. The Muscatine County Fair is where memories are made, laughter is shared, and fun fills the country air. Join us from July 19th through the 23rd and experience the best summer has to offer. Get your fun pass and concert tickets now at muscatinecountyfair.com.
From a clogged toilet to a complete sewer line replacement, Rivo is a modern plumbing company designed to respond quickly to all shapes and sizes of plumbing needs. Bringing in our heavy equipment to replace cracked gas lines, or designing clever piping systems for new construction plumbing, a family-owned company that's reliably honest and remarkably affordable. Right here in Muscatine, all day long, every day of the week. Rivo Incorporated, skill, knowledge, and tools to solve the messiest problems.
You know Rivo as expert plumbers, but did you know Rivo can also be your one source for complete bathroom and kitchen remodels? With professional craftsmen doing the job for more than 30 years, experienced in tile, carpentry, and of course plumbing, Rivo can transform a dreary basement into an elegant bathroom and upgrade a worn-out kitchen using inspirational design and quality brands. Before you stand in line at a big box store, call Rivo Incorporated and see how a hometown professional can refresh and improve your home.
Have you heard the littlest things can make the biggest difference? Every day, bigs and littles are connecting in our community. Their time together can look a little different, but the goals and outcomes are the same. Littles are building confidence, forming better relationships, a sense of belonging, and achieving big goals. But there are more kids just like me who are still waiting. Will you join us in making more matches possible? Support Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
We are looking for a zero-turn lawnmower.
At Hustler Turf, quality matters.
Can I test drive that one?
In the store?
Even in the buying experience. We know you want to buy from someone who knows what they're talking about.
We're looking for a zero-turn mower.
Like
Great.
this guy.
First thing you need to know is what's the size of your property? Are there any obstacles?
Head to your local Hustler dealer and talk to a lawnmower expert.
Stop in to Muscatine Lawn and Power at 2020 Stewart Road to see Hustler quality for yourself.
We've all been through a lot together, and along the way, you'll find out.
Chris, that was the quickest 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 I think I've ever gotten. That was like maybe a 2-second 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Chris, go! And here we are. You're back with us. Man, it's still gross out there. So Jamie just did a tremendous job talking about UnityPoint's new function at the new clinic, and it was kind of nice that you guys ended up here on the same day, because I've got 3 lovely ladies from, it sounds like it should be a TV show, like or like a song or something, from Lutheran Living Senior Campus here in town, and you guys just won an award. But before we get into that fun, cool stuff, if you guys could just introduce yourselves for those that don't know, and kind of what you do, and maybe like what a typical day looks like for you. Not like, I pick up my pen, but just like, what are the things that land on your desk, so they can kind of figure out what you do.
I'm Jessica Bopes. I'm the executive director at Lutheran Living, so I am mainly focused on our financial viability, talking with staff, making plans, things like that.
Making sure that you're here for the long term.
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm Taylor Carey Murdoch. I am the Director of Life and Community Enrichment, which means I oversee activities and marketing, part of marketing. And then I'm the interim HR director as well until we fill that position.
So you get to like plan all the fun, cool stuff.
I do, all the fun activities and events and stuff.
We have a lot of fun things.
Yeah,
you do, like,
very fun.
You do.
Yes.
We'll maybe talk about that.
Yes. Okay, cool.
I'm Maria Strickland. I am the Director of Admissions and some marketing. And you don't want to go into my day.
Yeah, we do. We're going right down into it.
This show is not long enough.
She's been there since
Director
the
of
first brick
Admissions,
was laid.
you're the one that helps people.
I'm the one that coordinates the admissions.
Right. So like helping people get in, helping make
Yep.
sure that process goes smooth.
Talking to families.
Let's call it
giving
smoothly,
tours.
and
Yep.
and I would imagine, maybe where some of that comes from is, the reality is, for most, it's probably not a great family time. Like when you have to look at using like senior services like that, it's a complex at best situation, right? And so that's one thing that I, having watched you guys, throughout the years, there's a support function, and like with what you do, right? There's, it's going to be a difficult time in a family's life, right? The individual, the support group, you know what I mean? It's not fun. Chances are it's the first time they're doing it. It's extremely complex. It can feel like a mess, I would imagine, for most.
It's not a want to, it's a have to.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And that's, I can only imagine the emotions that go with all that, and trying to manage that while making financial decisions and healthcare decisions and everything else. So
Yeah, it's a tough situation for families.
It's
stressful time.
Yeah, it's great having you guys there to support for that. And then, I mean, so that kind of goes into the award a little bit, and actually it's even better to know that you guys are good at it, right? Like, I'm not going to get the organization. I'm going to try and actually read this because it's the American Health Care Association and National Center for Assisted Living. Wow, that's
shortened to ACA.
ACA. Okay, we're gonna go with ACA. But you guys won the Bronze Commitment to Quality Award.
We did.
And so this is kind of like in healthcare. A lot of these awards are like this, where you don't want like one and dones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't want like a healthcare organization to be like, I'm gonna go get this, and then next year we're not gonna do anything with it, and we're just gonna let it go away. So like it's like a continually building process.
Correct. Yep.
And so, you know, if you could kind of just give folks an overview of like what the Bronze Award is, and then maybe where we kind of go from here.
So it means that we hit all the benchmarks to be honored for bronze. Next step is silver, and we are actually starting in August to work towards silver, and then ultimately gold would be, but you do it a step at a time.
Right.
You have to meet all the benchmarks for quality, which is a whole formula for staffing, for your for all your quality measures, for making sure that we are getting quality client satisfaction. We have an excellent staff who have, the award was actually for assisted living. A lot of those staff are very long-term. They really love what they do. They are invested in making it their own. They treat them like their family. So that is a lot of the reason that we met the quality. We definitely couldn't do it without the staff that we have at Lutheran Living.
Well, and you know, the interesting thing, and I think you heard a little bit of my background, but this quality thing in healthcare is such a, I'm going to say fickle thing, because again, you may be having to do something somebody doesn't want to do. It's a poor healthcare situation in general, but you've got to make sure you're doing all the things you can, and sometimes that doesn't have what many would consider a positive outcome, right? But you still did everything that you could, and that's what always is so intriguing to me about the healthcare industry. Is it is an art, right? Like it is science, absolutely and obviously, but you know, you can have the best artists in the world. Sometimes they try something and it doesn't work. And that's how healthcare is. Like sometimes it's just time, or it's just whatever, right? And that's what I love about how awards like this, and how you guys, when you commit to this, you're committing to the process, right? Outcomes are obviously extremely important, right? But it's the process that gets you there.
Well, and I think we take a lot of it from residents. We are very resident rights focused, so we want to give them all the options and let them be the ultimate decision maker of what's going to work for them, their family. When Nuria is talking with a family, what does care look like for you? What do you want? And Taylor, with our activities, Nuria said sometimes it's not the best time for families to have to make that decision, but we hope once they're there, they feel like they are having an opportunity to be engaged with their peers. We have activities at Lutheran Living that I have never seen in other facilities, that I'm really proud to be the director there. They're always doing things. There's a lot of engagement. People are excited to go to the activities. They have outings to where they're going into the community, and we had prom, we had, I can let you talk about it because you know more about it.
Wait, did you say prom?
We did.
Senior prom.
Okay, so what was, Taylor, tell us about senior prom. Like, what was this?
Yeah, so once a year we have our annual senior prom. I believe this is the 3rd year that we're doing it, and different businesses will donate money to help sponsor it, and it's just a night where we get all the residents together. We have like a live band, we do their hair and makeup, they get dressed up, it's really fun. Dancing the night away, a lot of staff join us as well, and it's really cool.
Did you do a whole play like when they did that 80s prom skit thing down here? Did you guys see that? So
I'm not sure.
So Pearl City players, maybe you could have them come do something like this out there. This was so cool. So they did, it's like a live interactive theater thing of an 80s prom, right?
Oh.
So they like all dressed up like a John Hughes
Yeah.
sort of a thing. You should maybe see if they come out and like do it for,
Yeah, that's
because they've
interesting,
got
yeah.
all the stuff still.
Okay.
Because they like go through and like you can like talk to the characters, and that would actually be a
That's
really
really cool
cool
idea.
thing.
Yeah, for
it's,
sure.
Call Chad Bishop out at
Chad Bishop, okay.
MCC.
Okay, cool.
He'll be like, why did Chris tell you to call us again? Wait, explain this to me. But so I think this is one of those things that we always try and talk about. Okay, if somebody's sitting at home right now, and this might come to you more so, if somebody's sitting at home right now, either themselves or have a family member, what are some of the things that they might be thinking about right now that are like signs that like, hey, pick up the phone and give us a call and at least get some information or take that first step? Is it like, you know, mom can't take care of herself? Is it like, what are some of those things that might register for people?
Mom or dad, like frequently falling, calling family members to, you know, help come get them up. Mom, you know, and dementia could be involved. You know, parents aren't taking their meds like they should, so they're going to have, you know, adverse reactions to that. Not feeding themselves, things like that.
So I would think if I could sum that up and see if I'm getting close, is like anything that's not normal for them, right?
Exactly.
You know, like if, you know, my wife constantly stubs her toes, right? Now if but if it's somebody who's super agile, like used to be a gymnast, and they start stubbing their toes a lot, that might be a sign like, hey, something's going on, and we should start these conversations, right?
And unfortunately, a lot of families wait too late.
Yeah.
They, you know, something happens, something traumatic happens, they fall at home, they end up in the hospital, you know, just because they, you know, like I said, it's a have to, not a want to. And, you know, they just wait and something terrible happens. And
Well, and you know, you brought up dementia, and that's one of the, you know, growing concerns in the healthcare industry. And it's part of why, like, Dr. Saga has been doing the dementia series. And if you don't know about it, we've got out on discovermuscatine.com, we've got all the Alzheimer's Association video content available for you. We've also got all of his dementia series and like what to look for, and you know, when, you know, I hate to say this, but when to start assembling your team, right? So your healthcare provider, where are you going to go, right? And that's obviously you guys, right? And then what does that look like while you're there, right?
Well, and Dr. Saga is actually our medical director, and Maria attends all of his conferences. So she's a friendly face that the families hopefully will know as well, and making sure that, again, before you actually need it, you're looking for those declines. A lot of times around holidays, so we just had the 4th of July, people are coming home, adult children, and they're seeing those kinds of declines. That's a good time to reach out and just say, I've seen, you know, a little bit of decline. We have the full gamut, so we have independent, assisted, all the way to memory care. So
and short-term rehab.
Short-term rehab.
We're a CCRC, a continuing care retirement community. So you can start out there independent and then just
whatever you need, you just kind of like level up.
And we do outpatient therapy as well for our independent and assisted living patients.
And that's, you know, Mom, you're getting older. We've always talked about putting you in a home. And, you know, some families joke about it, right? Like we have. I'm an only child, right? So
my son tells me every day.
Yeah, you know, we joke about
put me where
like,
I work.
Oh, she's coming to live with us. No, you're not. But the reality is, it's a conversation. You know, as much as you may joke about it at home, and I'm sure we're not the only family that does that, right? There's a lot of truth to those jokes, right? And, you know, if all of a sudden one of those jokes, you kind of go, ooh, maybe start then. Like, don't wait. Like, it's not, there's nothing good that comes from waiting. That first step is always the hardest, right? You guys are super easy to work with. Just pick up the phone and call them, shoot them an email, reach out on the website, reach out. Like, there's 100 different ways. Just type in Lutheran Living, you'll find them. Like, you're everywhere. They're on Facebook. So whatever's most comfortable for you, reach out. Don't wait. You've got caring individuals waiting to help, right?
Absolutely.
And to tie it back to the word, who know what they're doing, right? And it's not like they're just, oh, we're trying hard and hoping we get things right, you know?
We have a lot of longevity in our staff.
Yeah.
And
we're
have
very
this.
lucky that way.
Yeah. I've been there for over 25 years.
Well, and I remember when I was young, kid age, my grandfather actually drove the bus. Back in the day, it was Lutheran Homes, right? Andy Anderson.
Yep.
Yeah. And he loved it.
I remember him.
Yeah, kind of a crazy old coot, wasn't he?
I liked him.
You see where I get it?
Yeah,
like,
a little bit, yeah.
It all makes sense now, doesn't it? Yeah. But like that was actually, in a weird way, that was part of his retirement engagement plan. Was he drove the bus because he was engaging with people all day. He was a salesman. He was like me, never shut up, right? But that was engagement for him. It was engagement for them. So even like the bus driver, and this is, call it 30 plus years ago, those things were in place that help people in that situation. So it's great to see what that looks like today and be able to remember even what it was like quite a while ago.
Yeah.
So.
And we started out as an orphanage. Were you aware of that?
Yeah. Yep. Way
So we've
back.
got a lot of history.
Yeah. So holy cow, that's a lot. So quick recap for everybody. You guys know what you're doing. You're winning awards. You're going to keep leveling up. You've got a plan to do it, obviously. And if you're sitting at home, curious, wondering, don't wait. I mean, that's basically what it all boils down to. Because you're going to have to do it at some point. So just do it. It's a lot easier. Have the information. Give yourself time where you can start making decisions when it's not a have to, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe make the decision so that when you have to, you know what to do, right? I think that's probably some of the biggest things, right?
Yeah, and anyone can come and tour and just
get information and
even if you're having a surgery or know you're going to need some rehab after that surgery, we have a gorgeous transitional care center. So if you know I have to have a knee replacement, I don't know if my house is going to be set up for me to go upstairs to the bathroom, you can come and tour ahead of your surgery time. So when they ask you at the hospital, where would you like to go, you already know.
You already have your plan in place.
So what I think you're saying is after my mom had surgery, rather than her coming to our house for a couple of days.
She gotta come to our house.
Yeah. No, Mom knows it's all in jest. Well, ladies, thank you for stopping in. Congratulations on the bronze. That alphabet soup thing, that's the cool national people who know what they're doing, giving you a great award. So keep up the good work and let us know when you get your silver.
Okay, we definitely will.
Awesome. Well, Muscatine, enjoy the rest of your rainy, crappy Wednesday for what it's worth. It is actually dark outside. It looks about 7:30 at night out there right now. So enjoy it, and we will see you